Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning. Welcome to Talking Horses. He's Anthony Stabile. I'm Andy Serling. Head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, we'll match up to a $200 deposit. Use the promo code Big A. We're offering a special deal, $10 bonus if you bet $100 or more at the fairgrounds today. Anthony, we got 9 to talk about today.
Go.
Let's get to work. Race number 1. Race number 1 was the one race that was somewhat really affected by scratch, particularly the scratch of Mind the Coin. You and I have the same horse on top. I wouldn't have picked him on top if I thought you were going to pick him. I would have picked somebody else, but I don't really like anybody else. Yeah, why do you like this horse?
I don't either. This horse is the one race in the slop, and it is sloppy. Here we get almost 2 inches of rain overnight. Going to run for the second time for Jeremiah Engelhardt.
What does the slop have to do with it? He was a different horse when he ran the slop. He was a much better horse. What do you think of his last race?
I don't think it was great. I don't think any of them were great.
We'll talk a little about his last race. The winner of the race came back and improved his Beyer figure by 7 points. Second horse ran worse, but we did see some other horses come back and run well out of that race. I didn't think he finished up well, and I wonder if the cut back to 6 furlongs will actually be in his favor. Even though he's gone longer earlier, maybe the cut back to 6 will help him out. And the problem is, where else do you go in here? You've got horses like the 3 State of Mind, and now the 3 State of Mind is loose. The scratch really does help the 3 State of Mind, assuming Informed Consent isn't a speed horse. Now, Informed Consent, the first are for Chad Brown, that cost $400,000 as a yearling and is now debuting late in his 3-year-old year for $20,000. 3-year-old first-time starters in maiden claims dirt 0 for 6 with 2 on the board. Every one of them were short prices. These horses just don't seem to win. No. Obviously, this horse need not be much horse to get it done. There's not much going on here, and with the lack of pace, the 6 Cavaradossi is up against it significantly.
Yeah. Even though he showed some speed 3 races back, that was going a much slower pace. You would have to figure that State of Mind is going to make things a little bit quicker on the front end today.
He lost contact with the field last time. They were moving up front, and it'll be closer today, and we'll see if Junior can get him a bit closer. Race number 2. Race number 2, speaking of the Chad Brown horses, well, this horse got claimed by Linda Rice, who doesn't have great numbers, and I don't have the exact stats off of claims and maiden wins. We'll look at customer experience, breaking her maiden first time out. But she ran fine in here. She's way the horse to beat. Yeah,
way the horse to beat. Was able to just sit off the pace, make the run. Impressive move up the inside. Like seeing young horses and experienced horses do this, and going to get the job done here under a little bit of a drive. And you know, look, this horse's speed figure just comes back much higher than anybody else's in here. I don't ordinarily like taking the horses over Chad Brown, but I don't know. She looks like she's the goods today.
She's the horse to beat. We'll see if she can come back to that number. I'm not sure how much better she really is than the number 2, Cruisin' Dance. I like Cruisin' Dance, who's supposed to be the speed in this race. And you have to imagine Eric Cancel. Eric won our last 2 races yesterday. Be aggressive with this horse coming out of the gate. You know, you look at the last race that Cruisin' Dance ran. The horse was almost 60-1. And if you look at it, I didn't run that bad in the context of the race because the pace really fell apart. 4th place finisher ran a 57 Beyer, came back with a 73 the next time, talking about horses that were involved in the pace, and the 4th place finisher involved in the pace. So I think the pace really took a toll. Other speed finished 8th in here and actually had run much better in other starts. So I think this was a pace that really fell apart. And the maiden win, albeit at 5.5 furlongs, 2 back, I think might be a little bit better than it looks. I think elevates this horse. And I'm hoping that Cruisin' Dance can wire the field for the same trainer that won the Remsen here last week.
Yeah, Jeremiah O'Dwyer has done a good job in the Mid-Atlantic this year, winning it right around 20%. Yeah, you know, I think the wild card here is probably Compensate, who's never run on the dirt, has run on polytrack exclusively. Yes, no, there's a turf race in there too. Never run on the dirt. The wild card. Otherwise, I think it is the 2 or the 3 here.
Yeah, I will say one thing about Compensate to remember is that there is the training track up at Woodbine is a dirt track. So you look back and you see a workout on the training track. So they felt, at least in the workout, the horse handled it. You also got the Brad Cox, We Don't Believe Her, horse coming off the claim from Luch. I thought that horse was probably a little slow, but not impossible, and should be in a good stalking spot. It should be noted it's Brad Cox claiming for Michael Dubb, which maybe moves the horse up.
Maybe, yeah, but this horse started the career at Naira and had to go out of town to get out of the maiden ranks.
I agree. She looks a little slow. We'll see if she can improve off the claim. Race number 3. Race number 3 is a horse in here, the number 7, who you liked last time. You'll go back to horses that you liked, and it was a good pick last time. I don't do things like that. Brimstone had everything his own way last time, but he does figure to be the speed again, and we'll see if he can wire him. But I feel like last time was the time, but he does like a wet track.
Yeah, and that was what got me to take him again this time. Plus, he's cutting back to half a furlong, which will probably help his cause. He's going 6 instead of 6.5 today, and you know, he was just fine at 6.5 last time, but you add the moisture, you get rid of that last 16th of a mile. He has a very, very similar setup in here again today. I'll go back to the well.
It's not a bar that has particularly strong numbers coming off wins and dirt sprints. Overall, they're not strong, and if you do it in claiming races, it's even worse. It's just 7 for 55 with a $1.18 ROI. So I'm a little bit skeptical of him coming back. He got 7-1 or 8-1 last time out. What a catch! Who finished behind him seems to be a player. I don't love Business Cycle. I thought Business Cycle would probably vie for favoritism with Brimstone in here. I just thought Business Cycle, he might just be better than these horses. This is his win 2 races back off the claim for Rob Falcone, who drops him down off that level. But he's playing the claiming game, and the purse is good enough that wins, gets claimed, does well in the whole deal. And I just thought he might be a little more reliable and more consistent.
He got beat a long way last time when he was second
that was a
data
goofy
driven.
racetrack, and Data Driven ran last time.
It
Data
was,
Driven, but he still ran his Anthony. He still ran his race. Data Driven. He lost. You could run behind Dr. Fager and get beat 30 and still run well
I
enough to beat this
understand
field.
that. I do, but my other problem with him is he has only won the condition claiming races, and I think it's a little bit different now.
Yeah, I think he ran his race last time out. Malibu Action's a horse that you have to wonder about. Linda Rice, trainer change to Linda Rice. This is the same owner. What are we going to get from a horse that at times was good enough to bury this field?
Yeah, I don't want to let this horse beat me. Drawn outside here. We'll see how the track plays, a sloppy track now. I thought this horse has, like you said, had races in the past that would just bury these horses. And this is that kind of race where I think if Brimstone backs up today as opposed to keep on going like he did last time, I want the horses that are going to be closer to the pace, closer to him, and Malibu Action figures to be just that.
Why would you have Brimstone top and not have What a Catch anywhere in your top 4? He did just finish reasonably close behind him, and he actually ran pretty well last time.
Yeah, I just, you know, I felt like he just picked up some pieces last time.
He didn't pick up the pieces. It's not true.
His wet track races aren't great. I don't know.
They're just as good as his
Not a
dry track
fan.
races, but even better, in fact, than some of them. So, I don't know. All right, race number 4. We disagree in race number 3. Race number 4, I guess in race number 4, there are 3 major players in here, the 1, the 7, and the 3. And we'll start out with Danny California's last race. And Danny California is probably the worst to beat. I don't know. You know, originally I thought he had a tougher trip than he did. He doesn't break that sharply, and that did compromise his chances a little bit. Kind of takes him out of the race, but you know, he gets him out in the clear. It's not like he was in some sort of big compromising position. And did he really gain that much? Maybe it was a race where it was ultimately tough to gain. I thought he ran okay in here. But he does like a wet track, and I guess he's a very logical horse coming back. But he's coming back on 9 days rest as well.
He is. And yeah, people are going to bet him off of that trip last time. And
What trip is it? What was the trip?
well, he got jammed up inside there a little bit.
Not
I
really.
think.
No, he didn't. He got a little. He broke a little slow. He didn't get jammed up inside. He got him outside in the clear, and you know, I don't know. I think he ran fine. I mean, I guess there's a scenario where he might have won this race. I don't know. I have mixed feelings with this horse, but I guess he's probably the horse to beat in here.
The 9 days bothers me as well. We both have him third. I mean, he can obviously win.
Yeah, I didn't look up to see if Noda's run any horses back on short rest. I should have looked that up. Joe Smoke and Gun, got to get the mile, Anthony.
Yeah, got to get the mile. First time Rudy. That's going to help. Obviously, I did not see this before just now, but that's obviously going to help his cause. Look, he's
Stretching out off the claim at Aqueduct, he has very good numbers.
Yeah, he's first time Rudy, and this horse, I think, you know, he did his good. He had his run last year when the barn was going well. He's kind of run well, even through the doldrums the barn's gone through here on the Naira circuit. I thought this horse was run okay, and now he's getting Rudy for the first time.
What do you mean he's run? What are we talking about, doldrums? What am I missing?
Well, Timmy Hill's barn got
he
kind of
has
quiet.
the horses he has. He just doesn't have many horses that are competitive.
But he was on a
underperforming.
great run last year when this horse was winning, and then he kind of went quiet. Yeah, and then
well, he had a
this
great
horse
run.
okay. Yeah,
This horse probably had a lot to do with it.
he did. He's got to get the mile, like you said. But you know, I'll take my chances first time Rudy. So
it's basically just a first-time Rudy, and I don't disagree. He could move up. I thought Irish Valor, if you look at the race, and I will get into what you possibly like about the 5 in this race. I thought Irish Valor of the 3 major contenders was clearly going to be the biggest price, and I'm not sure how much worse he really is. He's got races that easily fit in here. He's been in tougher spots. That I Love Jackson race at Belmont, he just got run off his feet in a race at a time when you wanted to be inside speed, and he wasn't. El Hermano ran off from the field 2 back. Then he got caught behind the slow pace last time out. And I just don't think he's had a fair chance in some much tougher spots than he's in today. And I think he figures just as much as the others in here. He's going to be a much better price. So he's obviously the one I'm going to pick on top. What, pray tell, do you like about Big Mount?
You know, on these racetracks, I want to see how they play out early on, and I want a little bit of a front-running insurance policy. This horse will be either on the lead or off of Rockin' Joe. Yeah, it'll be on the lead or off of Rockin' Joe.
But why is that a benefit to him if he's there with Rockin' Joe, who's got a lot of speed? I can't imagine.
I wouldn't mind him sitting second to him.
But how does that give him a big advantage from a pace standpoint? Do you think the Joe Smoking Gun's going to be far out of it?
No.
You think Danny California's going to be that far out of it?
Hold on a second. We've already gave reasons to not like Danny California, the 9 days, and we don't know if Joe Smoking Gun doesn't want the mile.
No, but you're strictly taking a horse on some sort of placement that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Because he's got
sitting second to a horse I think has no chance on the front end or being in front of him, I think it makes plenty of sense. And the horse is going to be 12, 15 to 1 in a race where we can pick hole.
Okay, what odds do you want to give me that the horse that has no chance finishes ahead of him?
Anything you want.
Okay, well, I don't know, 100 to 1.
I'll give you 2 to 1. He's 2 to 1 on the board. I'll give you 2 to 1.
You said anything I wanted.
It's 2 to 1.
You said anything I wanted, and you said his horse had no chance. I'm looking at like at least 8 to 1 here.
I'll give you 2 to 1.
So in other words, you don't think he has no chance. You're sitting outside of a horse. You think he's like 50. You think he's like twice as likely to win.
Nobody does a better job than David. I'll give you the 2 to 1 that David thinks it is.
20 to 1 could be 80 to 1. He's not making the horse 80 to 1.
So I'll make you a deal. I'll give you whatever it is on the board. The fraction. If he's 10 to 1 and he's 40 to 1,
I'm not the one
that
that said he had no chance. I'm not the one that said he had no chance. I'm just going back on what you said. I think you're ridiculous.
Okay.
Race number 5. You're a lovely person, but you're ridiculous.
I hope
Race
goes wire to wire today. I swear I hope he does.
I really do hope that the Rockin' Joe wires the field now. That will be particularly amusing. I'll be laughing so hard in my office. Race number 5, the race goes through Rally Cap. What do you do with Rally Cap? Who, if he runs back to this race, he's obviously going to win. He's the controlling speed of this race. He's a very, very hard horse to trust, though.
I can't take Rally Cap today.
Oh, you've got to use him.
You got to use him, but you want to go to your Naira Bets account and take 8 to 5, and this one is going to be 8 to 5 today because this win is a big one and it's on a sloppy track. And if you think this horse, first time Linda Rice dropping down, isn't going to be a short price today, this horse will be shorter than the 5 to 2. I think this horse will be closer to, I don't know, 8 to 5, 7 to 5 today.
I don't know what price. I'm not going to. David made him 5 to 2. I'll stick with David's morning line.
I think he'll be favored over Brush Country.
I don't like Brush Country. I don't get. Yes, I agree with you. I think he'll be favored over Brush Country too. I know Brush Country has a win and a slop at Saratoga. I don't trust this horse at all. He looks to me like his form could be disintegrating.
Yeah.
And that win, that race at Saratoga where he won. That was a very, 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 very hungry field. I'm not a big fan of this horse today. Very. I'll throw it out. Do you disagree? I feel like I'm not saying he can't win. I got him 4th. If he's the favorite, I'd like to book every cent on him.
Okay.
I agree with you. I think Rally Cap will be favored.
I think he'll be a big favorite, Rally Cap.
I don't know if he'll be a big favorite.
Because of the wet track.
Anthony, first of all, you think everybody looks at that tracks like you do.
Well, look at the win.
Most people actually look at speed figures. But so forgetting about that, his speed figure isn't significantly faster than his good races on a dry track. He's just a horse that ran in it and ran okay. He was a heavy favorite that day too. You are talking about a horse of a 6-month layoff. 6-month layoff horses for barns like Linda.
It's Linda.
Yeah.
They don't look at
yeah, you're just going to fall out of your chair when he's dead on the board and he's a third choice in here or something weird.
No, I'm not.
Anthony,
I mean, who are they going to bet? That's my point.
Anthony, I think he's probably going to be favored as well. But you overestimate the idea of layoff horses. How about horses sometimes they're just dead and they don't run? So, and it's not like that never happens.
It's hard for me to envision
You've got
him not
Dooley
being
on top.
Yeah.
You think Dooley's a better wet track horse than dry track horse. I don't think there's any evidence of that.
Absolutely do.
Well, there's no evidence of it. His speed figures are just as good, basically, on wet tracks as dry tracks. If you look at his consistent numbers, he runs the same race. I'm not saying he can't win.
I also think in the last group of wet track races this horse has run, he's run against horses that would bury this field. I mean, look at the horses. Eagle Pass.
He's got beaten a pole in those races,
Bigster.
But he got beaten a pole in those races. I've got him 3rd. He's not impossible in here, but listen, you and I have a very different view of wet tracks. I think you get, but do you think it really works to your benefit, Anthony? Because I don't. Because what I've seen up here, it doesn't. I think you get way too caught up in horses finishing in wet tracks as opposed to their actual performances. I don't think he's any better on a wet track. I'm not saying he can't win.
I think he's better on a wet track.
He's
I don't know how
not.
much better he is on a wet
He's
track.
not.
Maybe it's his advantage that more horses don't like it than do.
He's not.
I don't know. I think he's. I like Dooley today. If I get 8 to 1.
I like Freudian Sip. We'll see what price he ends up today. I know it's a horse I haven't liked in the past, but he did run 2 races back. He was in a tougher field last time. I thought Dillon just totally dragged him out of the race. And this is a horse who, one of the things that's helped him in his career is that he has speed. And I thought Dillon just took him out of his game last time. He wasn't going to win anyway.
He was way over his head last time.
He was, but why was he back as far as he was? It's not like they were flying up front. And he was literally taken back and out of the race. And he was given no chance in there. I agree with you. He couldn't have won that race. But in this race, I think Dillon's supposed to use his speed, as Irad and Jose Lezcano have done in the past. Don't ride the horse the way you seem to want to ride him. Ride him the way he needs to be ridden, and he could be sitting behind the number 4 in this race rally cap, and I can get the right trip. And why can't he win if he runs back to his race 2 back?
He can.
Yeah.
He absolutely can.
That's my feeling
Listen,
with him.
listen. I'm gonna if Dooley's 6, 7, 8 to 1, I'll bet a few dollars to win on Dooley. But
I don't think Dooley's impossible.
My multi-race wagers, I'm using the 4 of them because I want to get alive.
That's fair. I agree. They look like the right for him. Yeah. Desert Lights is a fringe player. Oh, wait a second. Who's the first person we saw when we came in the track? Randy Persaud.
See? We saw Randy. Yeah. I don't know. Is that Randy's first horse of the day?
I don't know. That I didn't look up. It's hard to believe he doesn't
No,
have one.
second race.
He's got to have one every race.
I was
right?
safe.
He has to have one every race. Race number 6. Race number 6 is an interesting race. I can't believe in race number 6 you didn't pick Jerome Avenue. We'll take a look at Jerome Avenue in race number 6, who wired a field in the slop 3 races back and beat Allure. Wouldn't you agree if he runs this race, he's going to win here?
Yeah.
I just don't trust this horse.
No, I don't either. I don't either. And I'll tell you why I don't trust him. I know the race at Saratoga was around 2 turns, but that race, 3 starts back, is 18 points faster than his other sloppy track try. The last 2 races are more in line than what that sloppy track race. He didn't have the lead.
He did beat Allure, who came back with a big win. So I'm going to say this race was legit. And he's the speed today. I think he can win this race. I'm not in love with him, but I think he can win this race.
I don't like the horses taken from Asmussen as
I
well.
got the horse that you have on top second. But I'm going to tell you something about this horse. And we'll take a look at Traveling's race at Churchill. I think he could be a gigantic trap.
He could be.
He has the feeling of a trap to me. And I put him second because it's first time Rudy in a private purchase off his last race. I don't know. He's got an awful lot of bad races.
He does. I'm not saying he doesn't.
He does. He's got an awful lot of bad races, this horse.
But this horse's last race, and you know, the fact that
I didn't look it up. Maybe the track was very much speed favoring.
He kind of re-rallied. It was kind of passed and kind of re-rallied a little bit.
Look at these numbers for Rudy.
Yeah.
Do these numbers surprise you? They surprised me. Did you expect Rudy to be firing at under 20% off trainer switches with that kind of? This is a guy who has.
I'm going to tell you what.
Well,
again, I know what you're going to say.
Let me say something. Rudy's probably having a lot to do with picking out the horses he's claiming. So, and I don't think that Rudy probably said to Mike Imperio, you should buy this horse. I think other reasons this should probably bought this horse.
Well, more often than not, I think in general, that's the case. A trainer, more often than not, is picking the horses he claims.
Obviously is very sharp.
Whereas, and Rudy's, again,
sharp as anyone.
I get along with everybody. I think Rudy's the best claiming trainer there is.
Well, I don't know. There's other trainers.
That's my opinion. As far as claiming horses, I think Rudy's.
Numbers?
I think they're all very good. I think Rudy has the best eye. That's my opinion. We could sit up here and probably argue 15 different people.
Does Rudy put your 6 Splendas in your coffee when you see him?
He does not.
Just checking. Will he today?
More often than not, when a horse is transferred to you, you don't have much of a say
or the same
in the
influence.
matter. Say again?
Or the same influence,
yeah.
Right? And that's what concerns me a little bit. I like the number 9 in this race, Super Silver. I'll tell you something about Super Silver. I don't think the rail was where he wanted to be in his last race. And he spent an awful lot of that race right down on the inside. And I think it compromised him. And actually, when he got off on the rail in the stretch and came outside, he was still running. And I know Crazy Brickell Law, we don't know where that race came from. He didn't run back to it. But it's not like that number is incongruous to other races that he's run.
You don't want to say this horse re-rallied last time. He kind of ran on, though. He didn't stop. Yeah.
He nails a wet track.
Stop.
He got a good post on the outside. And I think Super Silver just makes a lot of sense here. And, you know, Bruce Levine's barn had been a little bit cold. They've been heating up.
Listen,
a good day yesterday?
I'm going to tell you, I'll say this, okay? I do a very old school, through the field, make the X's. I didn't throw one horse
Oh,
out
no,
here.
this is a very hard race.
I didn't throw one
The horse
horse
that
out.
somehow you didn't pick last week, the Honest Town, is a little bit tough. Beach Access probably isn't good enough, but after that, I don't disagree. There's an awful lot going on. We could actually, if we had time on the show like we used to have, we could actually have a handicapping discussion about it, but we don't. I don't love his Linda claiming off Chad, but I guess he could win here.
Yeah.
I had mixed feelings about it.
He's the fifth for me.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan, really.
Yeah, I actually thought that Super Silver was better than him, but whatever. What about Kumar? Going back to the dirt.
Yeah, maybe.
He was behind
into
Super
mischief.
Silver, though. He had a better. He stayed inside, but then he angled out in the stretch, so that Super Silver just ran better.
Yeah.
You've got Score when he wants, going on the dirt. Got some dirt races for Brad Cox. I don't think that horse is impossible. I agree with you. This is an extremely wide
Tough
open
race.
I mean, Jerome Avenue is 10-1. I put it first. I never thought he'd be that price, and I wonder if he'll be a shorter price.
I'll tell you what, David's morning line here, I wouldn't even be
David's
surprised
fine.
if the favorite's like 9-2 as opposed to 7-2.
I agree. It's a hard race
Yeah,
for
tough race.
anybody. Yeah, it's hard to look at anybody and see.
Fun
And
race.
I don't think the horse I picked will be favored, but we'll see. David does, but he basically has 4 horses the same price. Race number 7 was one race that was dramatically affected by scratches because you lost 2 major players out of this race. We'll start off with Ray to Escape, who comes off a win at Saratoga. One thing I like is that about Chris Englehart's job with Ray to Escape, got this horse to start breaking. Now the question is, what happened that he was laid off after this win 4 months ago in Saratoga? Did he have an issue, or did they just want to wait for the winter with him? This horse is capable of running some good races. And if he can keep getting out of the gate, he's very dangerous.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. If he gets in front of this race, like you said, changed tremendously. He's supposed to be in front here. The problem is, you and I have those. You and I have those memories of him not getting out of the gate.
Well, you say he's supposed to be in front. The horse we're looking at here, Shamrock's not slow. He's going to be right with him. I think he and Shamrock have similar speed. And I mean, I know we haven't seen Shamrock either, but Shamrock, he actually ran well in his last race, chasing that pace in the former race that fell apart. And this is his win 2 races back. I thought it was between these 2 horses in here. I thought they were just very, very much the 2 horses you want in this race.
Yeah, I looked at it a little bit differently. I took the new Wind Machine, Wicked Trick, on top.
Got a great stat for Wicked Trick we'll show after this race.
Okay.
Yeah, this is an excellent. These are excellent numbers for Linda Rice. Second off the claim, off a win in a dirt sprint, she's 0 for 11. 8 of them were short prices. Just pointing it out. Suggesting that they have not come back and run as well in their subsequent starts.
Obviously.
And this is a trainer who generally has very good numbers off of wins, but not off a win off the claim. Just pointing it out.
Yeah, this horse, I think this horse caught, especially with the scratches, caught a very good punch to try to buck that trend.
Really? Ready to escape? And
I do.
I guess the only thing that this horse has over the other 2 is recency. She doesn't have talent over them.
I like the fact that he has the recency. I like the fact that he has the recency over a couple of speed horses. I like that a lot.
Okay.
A couple of speed horses off a break that figured to be within close proximity to each other sets it up for this horse. I like this horse today.
Okay. I guess he could win. Don't like him, but he's the 3rd likeliest winner, or one of the 3 likely winners this race. We'll see. Maybe the 2nd likeliest winner, according to the odds. Because don't forget, we did have 2 major scratches. Race number 8, $500,000 for the Stallion Series, and 13 of them are going to try to take advantage of it.
The Great White Way. Correct?
Is this the Great White
I believe
Way?
it is. You have your program with you? No.
No, I left it in my office.
I left mine in your office too.
Dream Bigger is the horse to beat. We'll take a look at Dream Bigger easily beating Bank on Shea. I guess the question is twofold. Are you at all concerned with Dream Bigger on a wet track? I don't know why you should be. And he's got speed. He should be well placed. He drew well on the outside. Bank on Shea, though, you do feel like that race was off a 4-month layoff. Maybe Bank on Shea has some real room to move forward.
I also think you have to worry about the extra panel. I know it wasn't a problem with Finger Lakes. This looked like if Silly K was going to get to this horse, they go a little more ground last time out. I don't know.
Did it really?
Yeah, I do.
I don't.
I worry about 7/8 with this horse.
Do you think you would have moved at the same time? And you think that Silly
No, I
K
don't
would
think
have
that.
finished up
I
the same
think
way?
when you're on the front end, it's,
'Cause he ran the best figure he ever ran.
then it was at 6 furlongs.
Yeah, I know, but it didn't suggest that he was falling apart.
I'm not saying he was falling apart. I'm just saying I don't trust the extra furlong. He's a very likely winner. The race goes through him, but I think in a field this size, I think you owe it to yourself to take a little swing against him while using him in all the multi-race exotics. Certainly an A in the parlance of our time.
I didn't find anybody in this race that I particularly wanted to bet. So I picked him on top. And I think
Okay.
Bancochet could improve off that race. I don't think it's impossible. Listen, Captain Bombastic is no bum. Take a look at
No,
his
he's
last
not.
race. He's okay.
And he scratched out of a couple of spots, and I wonder if Jeremiah Engelhardt, his trainer, scratched
Well, he
him out of the
scratched
spot.
him out of a spot because he was because for two reasons. Number one, he was entered against a very good 2-year-old of his, but also because he knew this race was coming up for $500,000.
And that's the point I was going to make. I mean, when they're hanging $500,000, not even for New York birds, these horses have to be sired by New York sires.
This is the biggest purse for 2-year-olds in New York all year, I think.
Yeah, Champagne wasn't 6. Champagne was 4.
I think it's 4.
Huh.
I could be wrong.
Interesting. Well, breed to New York sires. That's all I can tell you.
There's one for
Have some
fillies
New York
tomorrow.
birds. Yes, there is.
And this horse also got a mile in his second start, so he's cutting back a
Yes.
furlong, so distance doesn't become a big question for him, and I think it's relevant. As far as your horse, Giant Shoes, I don't know what to do with this horse. We'll take a look at his last race, and he ran. A funny race. He ran. And this is the funny one. This is the one where he paid $14.20 to win, and the double paid $14.
The whole world knew about him, but he paid $14.
No, he was a heavy favorite in doubles, but he didn't take any money in the actual race itself. By the way, I got beaten for second in this race.
I remember this.
I needed the exact was paying $80
You
for a
texted
dollar.
me after this. You weren't here, I don't
needed the
think, right?
14 to hold for second. I wanted to barf. I was home. Sickening.
Look, you knew. I mean, I'm sure you would like to have found a bookmaker today that I was going to pick this horse with the big win in the slot, making up the ground, stretching out to 7 furlongs.
I broke 4 bookmakers betting on what you would do in races. So it's very tough for me to get down.
Tough for you to get down.
The entire bookmaking community, and not just in the continental U.S., but in countries all over the world, know that when I'm betting on those things,
Listen,
on things you're involved in,
these two horses.
these 4 guys, they used to be rich and live in
Listen.
penthouses, and they're now sleeping
Captain
in a box.
Bombastic and Dream Bigger.
I couldn't get down with my bookmaker.
Captain
on what you
Bombastic
thought.
and Dream Bigger are the 2 horses to beat in here. That's kind of obvious. They're 2 stakes winners. I just wanted to take a horse that, I mean, just based on where the money has to go, this horse who hasn't won over the course in the slot, he's got to be 10 to 1 again. Even if he takes some money off that race,
not going to be 10 to 1.
You don't think he's going to be 10 to 1?
No, David picks this horse.
You think 5 horses are going to be short? You don't think 5 horses in here are going to be shorter than him?
No, I don't. No.
You don't
I think
think
he'll be 3rd or 4th choice. I think Bancochet is the only one that might be a shorter price than him outside of Captain Bombastic and Dream Be Bigger.
Okay.
Brad Cox, he won by open lengths in the slot. Who are they going to bet?
I think
They're going to bet the maiden Tercero off the Bill Mott private purchase?
No, I think Captain Bombastic and Dream Bigger are going to take a lot of money.
Well,
in
they're
here,
not
and
going
then
to.
service,
They're not
and
going to
then
be
me.
3 horses between the 2 of them, though, that are shorter prices.
You
than
might be
him.
right.
I'm
Maybe.
not sure where else you think the money is going to come. Who else is going to take money here? Mulaki? Mulaki's disappointment. He quit last time. Almost
But he could
surprised
take.
was
He
back.
could take money.
He could, but he won't take more money than Giant
Okay.
Shoes.
You might be right.
Make a great point.
No, it's not a great point. It's a
Race
possible
number
good
9,
point.
I'm going to tell you, race number 9 gave me a monstrous headache.
Sure.
Take a look at Microscope's first race. We'll look at the start, and then we'll pick up the quarter. He actually ran pretty well his first race. It's amazing that Microscope was 22 to 1 first time. A homebred, the damn highest maintenance, she was actually pretty good for Micropoli. She ran some big figures in her career. This horse didn't break, ends up back at last in here, and I got to tell you, this horse actually ran. I didn't pick him on top, but are you going to be surprised when he wins? The problem is he was 22 to 1 last time. Why was he 22 to 1?
And that is why I put this horse
Todd
fourth
Pletcher,
today.
first-time starter, 22 to 1 that ran.
22 to 1, first time out, run second.
And he was like a professional horse. Goes inside horses,
on the inside.
angles out.
You're gonna take. I don't think this horse is going to be higher than 2 to 1 today because everybody's going to see all of
Anthony,
these
it's
things.
a big field. It's hard
I'm
to be
not saying
under 2
it's
to
not,
1.
but they're going to see all of these things.
No, they're not.
And it's Todd.
It's not going to be under 2 to 1. Can we bet some lunches on that?
2 to 1's a push.
$6 is a push.
Deal.
6.10 is me.
6.10 is you.
36.
Yeah, 6.10.
36, by the way. 36. How many lunches we banging this? Just tell me. It's up to 5. We could bet up to 5 lunches on this.
I'll take it for 2 lunches.
2 lunches, Anthony's going to lose on this one. 6.10 or above. Number 6. Okay, thank you.
Take it for 3 lunches.
3.
I'll take it for 3
3.
lunches.
If I stick around a lot longer, we had more time in the show, I could
I
win
feel
like
confident.
500
I feel
lunches.
confident in
No,
this.
is
I'll
a
take it for
terrible
3
thing on your
lunches.
part. What about the number 11, the number 12? You don't have a problem with them? You picked the 12.
picked
You
the
got
12
the
on
horse
top.
4th, and you think he's going to be under 2 to 1?
Yeah, I do.
You're out of your mind.
Okay. I know, but I mean, I do.
What do you like with the 12?
Fresh gelding. Gonna catch a wet track.